guys, I'm Kate, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about several different topics, ranging from reading slumps as a writer, to all about preptober, to talking about some of my favorite new authortubers, not even new, the authortubers that I have just discovered. All while, as you might have guessed from the alternating mugs, decorating for my favorite holiday of the year, Halloween. My actual cappuccino is in a not fun mug because that's just what I made it in before I thought about this, so you know. Still great though. So I feel like the first thing I need to do is actually give you a quick tour of my non-decorated room, because in fact I do have one object already up and I still have my NaNoWriMo banner that I'm going to need to put up somewhere. So this room is going to be a weird mashup of Halloween and NaNoWriMo. My favorite things, honestly. So this is it's great. But this is what it's gonna be by the end. Right now, the only thing I have that's slightly Halloween-y is Frankie, my little pillow Frankenstein. Let's set you back up again. There we go. Then of course we have the bookshelf. We can debate the merits of Disney being Halloween or not Halloween, but I think we can all agree. I caught it. We can debate the merits on if castles or Harry Potter are, or Winnie the Pooh are very Halloween-y, but you know what? I feel like the dragon is a year-round accessory, perfect for all holidays. Thank you for my dragon bag, Becca. I love him. You can see some of my camera equipment right there, all of my mugs that I was using, some various computer-y stuff, more bookcases, the aforementioned NaNoWriMo banner that has been falling down for quite a while, and then an assortment of other decorations and just stuff that needs to be put up myself. One of my favorite posters, because y'all know how much I love The Princess Bride, and then all this stuff. So anyways, the point is, right now my room is just not nearly Halloween-y enough. I need to celebrate my favorite holiday in style. Now, I do have a small collection of stuff I've laid out that is Halloween-y. So I think my plan is to set all of the stuff I already have up, and then I will work on potentially going and buying more stuff. Some things are just going to stay, like the Kanban board that failed. That's not a Kanban board anymore that I want to talk about. But you know, we're just gonna see how it goes. So first things first, I want to talk about reading slumps as a writer because I hate it. I hate it so much. I probably average about 2 books a month reading, and it's not bad by any means. It's also not, in quotes, like phenomenal. Not that you need to measure your reading against anyone else, but recently I've been extra disappointed in myself. I don't think I read anything in August. I think I only read 1 book in full in July, and September is practically over, and I know I didn't read anything in full then, and I was trying to figure out why wasn't I reading? Because as a writer, the best thing you can do for yourself other than to write a lot is to read a lot. To quote every author ever, and Stephen King, and everyone. It's good to read. It's good to read in your genre. It's good to read outside of your genre. Reading is good. Reading is great. And I think a lot of people want to be writers because they love reading. So then I have to like turn in on myself and ask myself, why the F wasn't I reading? And I get mad at the answer because it all comes down to because I'm a writer. So I know that September has been like my get shit done month kind of thing, but I think all the way from Camp NaNoWriMo leading up to this moment, I felt like I had a lot of projects open, but not in like the kind of open that I like them, where I'm kind of rotating through them. They were all open in different ways. And I guess it took a toll, but it took a toll by me not reading. And the problem with me not reading is that then I can't like replenish my creative well. It was like a never-ending cycle, right? Because how could I allow myself to read a like leisure activity when I can't get my work done? And that was the kind of mindset I had, where it was work and writing came first. And if I couldn't do those, then I didn't get to do anything else, and reading is lumped into the getting to do it because it's kind of like a reward. It's fun, I enjoy it. So then the problem is I become so focused on my own books that it just goes on. It could theoretically go on forever until I finish this stuff. Right now, actually, I'm just reading, I don't know if you can see where I am. I'm reading this nonfiction book that I really like about why specializing isn't always the best thing, like we're told. And then I plan on reading Red, White, and Royal Blue, and I'm very excited. And it's just something about actually being so close to freaking finishing a book is amazing. It makes me feel good. And really, I get mad that I'm like punishing myself by not letting myself read, because it's counter to everything that would help me write, that would help me push past something. Sometimes it's good to read something You can even see my little bookmark. Sometimes you need to read to replenish that creative well that writing all of these stories has taken away from you. No matter how wonderful and amazing it is, that's what happens. So many candles. Now, to make this extra difficult, and a couple people when I asked on Instagram, other than the topics I wanted to talk about, but y'all wanted to talk about, were saying that they also have trouble with reading slumps as a writer, but part of that is because they can take on the voice of the author that they're reading, and I completely understand that. Which is why I get into trouble, because let's say my current TBR is full of YA fantasy, but I'm writing a YA fantasy. It's really easy for me to then be like, well, you can't read any of those, so I guess you just can't read, you just gotta finish. You just have to finish your book. And then that's, again, where this mindset feeds into that isn't good. My solution for that has always been to have, you know, obviously you have a bigger TBR, have other books you want to read, but I just don't read the genre that I'm writing. So if I'm writing a YA fantasy, I might read YA contemporary, but usually I'm reading like adult mysteries or nonfiction or dabbling in a thriller or something like that. Like I'm trying to read stuff where the voices really can't be confused. And that's just like with my own work too. I try not to write stories that are both YA and third person. I try to write adult third person. I try to write YA and first person. Like I have to have that kind of separation, but this all feeds into the cycle of why I was in this reading slump to begin with. Okay, I think I'm gonna take the NaNoWriMo banner down. I'm debating putting it over on this bookshelf, or I will dramatically put it up on this bookshelf later, and if you guys have made it to this video, just pretend that you're really surprised when I start my Preptober videos on the 1st of October, okay? Just be like, whoa, she put it up, we had no idea what was happening. First things first, I think my desk chair needs a little bit of love. Ta-da! And then it can be tucked in just like that. Anyway, since having that realization, I think that I'll be able to kind of check myself more, because I really, during July, August, and September, I didn't know why I wasn't reading. I don't know that I could have told you, and I always tell people that reading fuels writing, and I just wasn't listening to my own advice, and also I didn't know why. I didn't know why I wasn't. So now that I think I've realized what was going wrong, where I was using reading as a reward for getting writing done, when really it should just be like part of my work if I want to think about it that way. If I need to think about it that way in order to let myself do it, then that's how I need to think about it. So it's a nice realization for me. Maybe that can help you too, I don't know. But anyways, reading slumps are very real, and just thinking about how much of your own thought process is causing that slump. And if you could figure out and pinpoint where it's gone wrong, then you can fix it. I have some Thanksgiving cups. I might keep these out for later. I also have, maybe I'll make some cookies later. I have a little ghosty, and I have what could be a pumpkin, or maybe instead I will make some kind of muffin or a cupcake. Oh, it didn't fall down. This is where we get to it. This is my little spider container thing. I think I'm gonna put him up here. Ta-da! Now, the other thing I've been thinking over a lot recently is authortube in general, because oftentimes, look at all these random buckets. Maybe buckets can just all go on top. Come out! There he is. Look at how cute they are on the inside too. He's a little pumpkin, a little bat. All in this together. Da 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 da. Just like with my reading slumps, I go through authortube slumps, but I think they're a different sort of thing. Basically, I think the reason for that is that a lot of the time it's almost like I don't know what I want from authortube, or it's changing. Like, yeah. I'm at this weird point where it's like I feel like the authortube content that I'm consuming is more different than ever, because when I first started, I feel like there was a lot more advice videos. So, you know, I watched some advice and then I got tired of advice. And then I watched a lot of vlogs because I was making vlogs, and I still feel like vlogs are one of the best ways to connect. And then now I've been in such like a chatty video sort of mood where I just want to hear people talk about authortube or writing. Like, it doesn't even have to be anything. I just want to be able to put it on and listen. And it's a weird thing. So I've been fluctuating with stuff, and then it's compounded by what part of the process I'm at. So as I get closer to publishing, I've now been looking up more advice again, but it's not even advice. It's like listening to experienced people talking about their experience, I guess. So it's people like my friend Becca, who has been an amazing friend that I met through authortube, but also I feel like I've just learned so much through her. It's about, you know, Alexa Dunn, who has so much advice on traditional publishing. It's stuff like the Courtney Project, who I am literally the last person to find her, I feel like, but she's incredible, and her talking so openly and honestly about her experience, but also like it's like advice without feeling like a listicle sort of thing. I don't feel like she's talking down to me. I know that in her past videos she's said that she's just giving advice to what she wished she could give past Courtney, and I think that's a great way to look at it, and I love that. And so I've also been lurking on the authortube newbie tag more than ever, really. My friend Emily has a friend, Truly Tash, who just started in the community, and I really enjoyed her authortube newbie tag. And then even things like reconnecting or like falling back in love with content of people that for whatever reason over the course of just authortube exploding and there being more content than ever, I've like found again, like Ray B. Shaw, who I just love her stuff, and I love that through her I found some other authortubers because they're all doing this thing. They're writing a book together following the Save the Cat beat sheet and like all this stuff where I'm just sitting here and I'm like, this is so cool. And like Tamara Woods starting the authortube news chat and like a semi-podcast form but about authortube and like kind of for authortube people and being on YouTube and shouting people out, and all of these different creative ways that people have been evolving the community. I guess maybe that's it. It felt like maybe I should say I feel like I'd gotten into this like rut of when it first started, it was all advice, and then we were all doing a whole bunch of vlogs, and then I just have felt kind of like, I don't know, kind of meh about it all, which sounds terrible, but it's not. I also wasn't really watching as much booktube either. As someone who found authortube through booktube, those two are always going to be connected for me. And so I don't know, it's nice now. I think I'm falling in love with watching content, and much like reading helping the writing, watching other authortubers helps me as a writer and authortuber. And it was just like, yeah, I'm glad to be out of the slump. I'm glad to have found a lot of cool new people that I didn't know about before. I'm excited to see where the future of authortube goes as people try new and different things and collaborate in different ways. I'm really excited about that. So yeah. I feel like this is a positive thing, but having said that, it is going to be interesting as we go into like NaNoWriMo time, where we're all doing Preptober and we're all doing our NaNoWriMo daily vlogs. And gosh, okay, I honestly don't know where I'm going with this video. The great terrible thing about the way I do NaNoWriMo is that it's like kind of an all-consuming thing. But the problem with trying to make daily videos along with hitting the 1,667 words each day in my NaNoWriMo project, which actually my goals for that are just to finish a first draft, so it might actually be a higher goal than that. And then to also be working on like Meridian Maps book 3 during that time, it ends up being where I, again, can't consume as much to replenish the well. And so I'm kind of hoping that these realizations I'll have discovered all ahead of time so that I make sure to replenish that well throughout. So maybe there's like some like accountability thing y'all can do and help me and be like, have you read today? Have you watched an authortube video today? I don't know. I don't usually think of myself as a worrier, but here I am, worrying. Kind of speaking of Preptober and NaNoWriMo though, I'm doing something different this year because feel like I haven't prepped to the extent that I'm going to be. I hear that clanging, sorry. I think I'm gonna be prepping to an extent that I haven't prepped in a long time. So it's gonna be a new and interesting and different experience for me. I won't go into it in too much detail here, but I think it's to the point where it's gonna be like every other video or something near that is going to be me kind of slowly getting ready for NaNoWriMo, whether that's working on choosing the project, which I already have, but like rereads and coming up with a timeline, making a map potentially for the first time, or maybe even doing like a mood board. I know people asked about that, but I've never actually done that before, but I thought I might give it a try. This is one of those things that I think I'm just gonna kind of throw a whole bunch of stuff, throwing a whole bunch of darts, seeing what works, seeing what sticks. And why not? Why not? I've done so many NaNoWriMos at this point that there's no reason not to try something new. If I do that across, I could do it down maybe too. Do I think this will stay? It's always a fun exercise of getting my books around the NaNoWriMo banner, so this will be fun to like try and finagle a book out of here. I also have these. They're actually supposed to be little shot glasses and they're, you know, they're plastic, but. Now I want to talk about what was once upon a time my Kanban board. So speaking of authortubers that I really like because I think they have a lot of experience, I've really, like everyone else, kind of gotten into heart breathing. Sarah Cannon is really cool, and I wanted to try her Kanban board system, which actually isn't up there anymore, but like I will flash a video where I talked about that. Basically, I attempted it for a while, for a whole quarter, and I'm just not at a point yet where that's a system that works for me. Even as much as I feel like September, my get shit done month, even though we're still in the middle of it, so it's not ended yet, but even though I feel like that actually worked for me, it was almost like the Kanban board system was a level of content planning and scheduling and knowing what the ish you're doing ahead of what I am. Like, I'm just not at that level yet. I want to get up to that level of knowing how to do stuff, but some amount of authortube and everything else is just having to experience it for yourself. There's no amount of watching a video that can actually transfer the skills to me. I have to put it into practice and I have to give it a go. And sometimes, like with writing, I'm not skilled enough yet to do the thing I want to do. So I have changed this. It's no longer a Kanban board. I'd love to hear from people how they plan on a quarterly level. I know Marissa Mohi is really good about content planning and everything like that. Anyways, where was I going with that? But for now, what I've taken to doing is asking myself, what can I do today to help future me reach her goals? And then I get out my marker. We're gonna go for an orange and black theme today. And I just write down the things I can do today within each of the categories I want to succeed in. And for me right now, that is health. So I'm going to go to the gym later, and today is going to be weightlifting and my pull-up test. It's going to be working on drafting hours 2, 3, 4, and 5 of novella number 1, editing this vlog, and filming Preptober. Because I'm going to be in Chicago starting the 3rd of October. I'll be gone for about 6 days while I'm celebrating a friend's birthday, and those are my plans. I want to get ahead on my videos, and I only have a little bit more I need to do in my Get Shit Done month. And I've found that doing it this way and having to fill it in each day is helpful as a reminder. I only have so many bullet points I'm working on. So in a way, I feel like my actual goal system has evolved from what I learned that I liked about the Kanban board system and what I can put into effect, me now having my semi-limited skill set on goal setting and follow through. Because it's the follow through, right? That's really the problem. So anyways, now I'm semi-decorated for Halloween. It's one of those things that it's not like everything screams Halloween, but now I just have hints of it everywhere, and I really like that. Just looking around at everything makes me so happy to see little bits and pieces of my favorite holiday. And now I can just kinda, you know, a little bit of a bigger smile. It's nice. Anyways, please do comment down below. Let me know what you think about content planning, goal setting, authortube as a community, authortubers that you've really gotten into recently. Let me know if you've experienced a reading slump. Let me know especially how much of being a writer has been a part of that reading slump. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you especially to some of my new patrons this month. Kata Miller, Nina Marley Skaz, Elizabeth Falk, Nadine Poplowski, Oriana Mulholland, and Caitlin Cavanaugh, and I will see y'all all very soon with a new video. Bye. If I need to think about